Crysis is regarded as one of the most demanding games of all time. 9 years has passed since its initial release, and now I want to take a look at how the game performs on modern GPUs, namely the $300 GTX 970 and the $140 GTX 950. Now before I get into this, I want to mention that even in 2016, this game still looks amazing. The grass and the water especially look fantastic. While it's not the groundbreaking type visuals from 07, Crysis still holds up very well compared to the best looking games on the market today. Now I am running the game completely maxed out at 1080p with everything set to very high. Now one last thing to mention is that bear in mind that this game is from 9 years ago, so optimization isn't the best obviously. My full system requirements will be in the description box down below, so with all that out of the way, let's get right into this with Crysis running on the GTX 970. Once again, the game is completely maxed out at 1080p, and when you're just viewing the scenery or swimming around, you'll be getting a pretty solid frame rate, anywhere from 55 to 75. When you actually get into the action and stuff is exploding and whatnot, the frame rate will start dipping. An explosion goes off and you're down to around 41 FPS, still very playable, but it's definitely very noticeable when a drop occurs. While the GTX 970 will give you a good experience on Crysis, there are clear limitations. Personally, I found the performance kind of disappointing, but the inconsistency in frame rate is something that you come to expect out of a game that's nearly a decade old.
Transmitting array. That must be the... jamming station.
Moving on to Crysis on the GTX 950, again maxed out at 1080p. With the GTX 950, I was much more impressed with its performance. Obviously, it's not at the level of the 970, but the fact that this is a $140 GPU on Crysis is actually pretty playable is a feat in its own right. When you're just looking around, you'll hover around 35 to 40 FPS, but even when it gets very chaotic, the 950 didn't dip too badly. For the most part, the game will run over 30 frames per second. The one time I made a car explode, it did dip to 24 frames per second, which is pretty bad. But hey, at least it's not as bad as the PlayStation 3 version. So in recap, Crysis is still a beast of a game to run. A lot of that comes from the lack of optimization through the years, but at the very least, it's much more open to the budget gamer than it was in 2007. So as always guys, if you have a request for a future video, leave it in the comments section down below. Thank you for watching, have a great day, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.